Okay, so I'll be using the Armor All Carpet and Upholstery Cleaner. It says it's, clean the toughest automotive dirt and grime. So in the previous video, I worked on this section with the Turtle Wax. Now I'll be working on this section with the Armor All. So let's dispense the product. And it has a very nice mist, much better than what the Turtle Wax was. It has a much finer, much more accurate mist than what I did here, and you can check this video down in the description box down below. So I'm just gonna let it sit there for just a few seconds, and then we'll start agitating. Okay, and I'll be using my bristle brush. Again, you can get it for like a dollar or two at your local somewhat store, doesn't matter. So we'll be doing so we're gonna agitate this section right here. You want to put moderate down pressure. Let's see if I can get you guys closer. Now, as I mentioned in the last video as well, the foam is actually turning kind of brownish because the dirt is being lifted out of the fabric and it's getting into the foam itself. And with things like this, even if you're using a much more aggressive cleaner, it's always about cleaning, spraying, agitating, mop up, and then inspect. That's the important part. You're never gonna get everything perfect on the first try. It's about like, okay, did I like it? Do another pass? Do I change, pressure? Do I change brush? Do I change cleaner? So it's always inspecting where it matters most. That should be enough. And we'll mop it up. Yep. Now I'll also say is that the not that it's a harsh smell, but it is a bit more of it has a bit of an aggressive smell compared to the Turtle Wax. It's not overly aggressive. It's not gonna make you gag or choke or anything like a super degreaser will, but you do smell it a little bit. And based off of the initial impressions, is it didn't do that well of a job. Again, it's not always going to be just one go and that's it. Multiple times you have to clean something several times in order to get it to your desired results. But here I will definitely give it another pass because I can still see the staining around here. So, and that's fine. Like if you have to do multiple passes, you have to do multiple passes. There's not much about that. Then I'll just kind of dab it in a little bit and get the agitating. Yeah, that's one downside of all this foam though, is that as you're agitating, it just builds up on top of the actual brush, and it never really seeps and penetrates the fabric that you're trying to clean. Now it does look like I'm saturating the seats a lot, which you are right. It is a lot of solution. There's two main things I want you to keep in mind. One, that type of material, that type of cloth, it does require more saturation to clean properly. If you don't put down enough solution, you're essentially just dry agitating it, and you're not gonna really get as of a thorough of a cleaning when it's just essentially when the seat's still dry. Okay, now I say it's looking a lot better from the previous pass. Now from this original condition, it looks a tons better. You can clearly tell now that a lot of the stain is gone. I still see an outline here and there, but if you're doing this just as, like I said in the last video, you want to, you spilled something, you want to touch up your car real quick, you got to return it because you're leasing it, then, that looks like it's a good enough job to, not make it look as obvious that a stain was there. So off that little test spot, what I think about the Armor All, same thing like I said about the Turtle Wax, is that I think that the Armor All took it a little bit in terms of strength. Like I was able to achieve desired results quicker with the Armor All compared to the Turtle Wax. But if you're doing this more than just your personal use, like you want to do this as a business, or you just want to knock out your car faster, like your entire car, then that wouldn't be my first choice, because it's a, it's aerosol can, it foams, it never penetrates the fabric as you're agitating. The foam gets like over and above the brush, so you're you know, it's kind of a weird way that foaming action works, which is why I like just regular liquid spray cleaners, because it actually penetrates that seat, and I feel like that does a lot more effective job. Because, you know, when you're using an aerosol can and you spray it, you know, say this is the seats or the carpet or the fabric that you're cleaning, when you spray it, it just stays 100% of the time on top of the fabric, and it doesn't really penetrate into the fibers to really pull out all the gunk. And I think that's kind of what's happening there. You can try dabbing it down to get into the fibers, but even then it gets kind of sticky onto the brush, and you don't really pat it down, and as soon as you start agitating, it just lifts back up. So that's why I'm not a fan of that one in terms of like you know, in terms of like if you're trying to do the entire vehicle. Again, if you want to do this for personal use, you spilled something, you want to touch something up over the weekend, by all means, it's fine, it works great. You will probably have to do several applications on certain stains to get them, you know, halfway decent looking. But yeah, so know what you're getting into. Don't think that, you know, it says it's a cleaner, so it's going to clean everything. You got to be, you know, aware of what the product is and what it's meant to achieve, and of course the stain that you're tackling. Because even now, having, you know, machines and like an extractor, a steamer, multiple brushes, multiple cleaners, there's still stains that won't come out even after doing all that, just because it's been there so long, it's bleached itself into the fabric, you know, the type of fabric it is, how old it is. So all those things do take into effect of how much you're able to pull out of that stain. So if you have any comments, questions, feedback, leave those in the comment section down below. Let me know if you have any consumer products that you'd like me to try out. That's my, you know, this one and the Turtle Wax I just tried out are probably one of the two that I just started. So if you have any recommendations, let me know, and I'll see you on the next one.